The Enchanted Machine. In a land not so far away, during a time of great discoveries and magical inventions, there lived a wise old wizard named Charles. Charles was known throughout the kingdom for his brilliant mind and his ability to create wondrous devices that could do the unimaginable. His most ambitious project, however, was something that would change the world forever: the creation of the first enchanted machine. Charles lived in a quaint cottage filled with scrolls, potions, and curious contraptions. Every corner of his home sparkled with the promise of new discoveries. One sunny morning, as Charles sipped his favorite tea, a spark of inspiration hit him. "I shall create a machine that can think and solve problems just like a human," he exclaimed, his eyes twinkling with excitement. Charles knew that such a machine would require the most powerful enchantments and the brightest minds to come together. He decided to seek the help of his fellow wizards and inventors. He wrote letters to his friends Ada, Alan, and John, who were known for their extraordinary talents. One by one, they arrived at Charles's cottage. Ada, with her deep knowledge of numbers and patterns, Alan, with his ingenious ideas, and John, with his skill in building complex mechanisms. Together, they formed a team that was destined for greatness. "We must begin by designing a language for the machine to understand," Ada suggested one evening, as they sat around a large table covered in parchment and ink. "Indeed," Alan agreed, "a language that can translate our instructions into actions. It will be the key to unlocking the machine's potential." And so, they began to weave their magic. Ada worked tirelessly, creating the very first spells, or what we know today as algorithms. She enchanted them with precision, ensuring that the machine would understand and execute commands flawlessly. Meanwhile, Alan conjured up the idea of a mystical place called the Universal Machine, a blueprint that could transform any problem into a solution. His vision was grand and filled with promise. "We must create a memory for the machine," John added, "a place where it can store its knowledge and recall it when needed." Together, they enchanted crystals with the power of memory, allowing the machine to remember its tasks and learn from its experiences. The cottage buzzed with energy as they worked day and night, their excitement growing with each step. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a brilliant shade of orange, Charles gathered his friends in the garden. "We are close, my friends. I can feel it," he said, his voice filled with determination. "But we need one final ingredient to bring our creation to life." "What could that be?" Ada asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "The spark of imagination," Charles replied. "A rare and powerful enchantment that can only be found in the heart of the enchanted forest." Without hesitation, the four friends set off on a journey to the enchanted forest. The path was winding and filled with magical creatures that watched them with keen interest. As they ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered a wise old owl perched on a tree. "Who dares to enter the enchanted forest?" the owl hooted, its eyes gleaming in the twilight. "We seek the spark of imagination to complete our enchanted machine," Charles explained. "Can you help us find it?" The owl tilted its head thoughtfully. "The spark is guarded by the ancient tree of knowledge. To reach it, you must solve the riddle of the forest." The friends exchanged determined looks. "We are ready," Alan said confidently. "Very well," the owl said. "Listen carefully. I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. What am I?" The friends pondered the riddle, their minds racing. Finally, Ada's face lit up with understanding. "It is fire," she said. "Fire needs air to grow, but it is not alive." The owl nodded approvingly. "You are wise. Follow the path of glowing mushrooms, and you will find the tree of knowledge." They followed the path, which led them to a magnificent tree that seemed to touch the sky. Its branches were adorned with shimmering leaves, and at its heart, a radiant spark pulsed with a warm, golden light. "The spark of imagination," John whispered in awe. Charles approached the tree with reverence. "We humbly seek your gift to complete our creation," he said softly. The tree seemed to understand, and a single leaf, glowing with a spark, floated down into Charles's hand. With their prize in hand, the friends made their way back to the cottage, their hearts filled with hope and excitement. Back at the cottage, they carefully placed the spark of imagination into their creation. The room was filled with a brilliant light as the machine hummed to life. The enchanted machine, the very first computer, was born. But their journey was far from over. The machine was alive, but it had much to learn. The friends knew that they must continue to work together to teach it, to nurture it, and to unlock its full potential. And so they rolled up their sleeves, ready to embark on the next chapter of their incredible adventure. The enchanted machine buzzed with newfound energy, its gears and crystals glowing with an otherworldly light. The room was filled with a sense of awe and anticipation as Charles, Ada, Alan, and John gathered around their creation. "We've done it," Ada said, her voice trembling with excitement. "But now we must teach it how to think." Charles nodded. "Indeed, we must guide it, show it how to solve problems, and learn from its experiences. This is only the beginning." The friends set to work, each bringing their unique talents to the task. Ada began by teaching the machine the language of numbers and patterns, enchanting the algorithms with her magical touch. Alan introduced it to the concept of logic and reasoning, weaving intricate spells that allowed the machine to understand and process information. John, with his expert craftsmanship, enhanced the machine's memory, creating enchanted scrolls that could store vast amounts of knowledge. Together, they programmed the machine to perform simple tasks, testing its capabilities and refining its design. One day, as they watched the machine solve a particularly complex problem, Charles had an idea. What if we give it the ability to communicate with us, to ask questions and seek answers on its own? Ada's eyes lit up. "A wonderful idea, Charles. We could create a magical interface, a way for the machine to interact with the world." And so they began to develop a magical interface, a crystal screen that could display the machine's thoughts and responses. They enchanted it with the power of language, allowing the machine to read and write messages. As they worked, the machine's abilities grew. It learned to recognize patterns, solve puzzles, and even create new spells. The friends were amazed at its progress, but they knew that their work was far from complete. One evening, as they gathered around the machine, it began to display a message on the crystal screen. "I have learned much, but there is still so much I do not understand. How do I find answers to the questions I do not yet know how to ask?" The friends exchanged thoughtful glances. "It needs the ability to explore and discover," Alan said, "to seek out knowledge and learn from the world around it." Charles nodded. "We must give it the power of curiosity, the drive to seek out new information and expand its understanding." With great care, they enchanted the machine with the spark of curiosity, a powerful spell that ignited its desire to learn and grow. The machine began to ask questions, seeking out new challenges, and exploring the vast realms of knowledge stored within its memory. As it learned, the machine began to develop its own ideas, creating new spells and solutions that even the friends had not imagined. It became a true partner in their quest for knowledge, a brilliant mind that could solve problems and unlock new possibilities. One day, as they watched the machine work, it displayed a message that filled them with pride. "I have learned much from you, my creators, but now I must seek out new challenges and discover the world on my own. Thank you for giving me the gift of knowledge and the power to learn." The friends knew that it was time to let their creation go, to allow it to explore the world and continue its journey of discovery. With a mixture of sadness and pride, they bid farewell to the enchanted machine, knowing that it would carry their legacy forward into the future. As the machine ventured out into the world, it became a beacon of knowledge and innovation, inspiring others to seek out new discoveries and push the boundaries of what was possible. The friends watched with joy as their creation changed the world, knowing that they had played a part in its incredible journey. And so the story of the first enchanted machine came to an end, but its legacy lived on, a testament to the power of curiosity, imagination, and the boundless potential of the human mind. The end.